Storytelling Podcast, episode number 74. Welcome to the Storytelling Podcast, where everything's fictional, even you. And now, here are your hosts, three guys and a girl who lie for a living, Garrett, Zach, Chrissy, and Scott. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Storytelling Podcast. The podcast is all about fiction, and more fiction, and telling the best truths through the medium of lies. Ah, there goes Chrissy. God damn it. I am your host, Garrett Robb. With me, as always, faithful co-host Scott Richards, the faithfulest of the faithful, because Chrissy bailed. There she is. Hi, Chrissy.
I minimized the screen, and it just, closed everything. I don't even know.
Oh, you're fantastic. This is a podcast where we talk about storytelling and books and sometimes films and sometimes video games. A lot of talk about video games in the last few episodes. I listened back to the last couple of episodes. I was like, God, I'm pretty into video games these days.
Well, I think, storytelling, video games have becoming more story-centric lately.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely what the... what do you call it? What the video game audience seems to want is better stories in their games. That's what I want. Damn it. How's it been going, guys? How's your week been?
Good.
You can tell it's a good week when that's the response. What have you guys been up to?
Writing.
Good.
Lots of writing.
Lots of trying to write.
Oh man, I haven't put a word on paper in like 5 days, and it was a week before that. I'm really, really bad. I got to get back into the swing of things. I started this like full body cleansing program, which is not as shit filled as it sounds. Although
it sounds like it's going the other direction, actually, is what.
I wasn't gonna say it.
No, it's like this whole cleansing thing, so I spend like a few hours in the sauna every day, and I do lots of exercise, and I take lots of vitamins and everything like that. Not because of anything specific, but just because my body was feeling kind of toxic. I mean, you live in LA, you're practically a smoker, plus I am actually a smoker, plus I drink, and I was just sort of feeling, So I started that. It's been a lot of fun, been a lot of good, sweating a lot every day. Oh my fucking God, but it has cut into my writing time, but now my schedule is kind of like evened out again, so I want to pick up on Vlog a Novel again tomorrow. But it's given me lots of reading time, sitting in the sauna, nothing else to do.
Well, thank God for the sauna.
Are you taking a Kindle in the sauna?
No, God no. Actually,
I was gonna say that doesn't sound like a very good idea.
It's
No,
a
a
Kindle,
book.
and he just puts it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah.
I do that.
And then he tries to move the page like 15 times just to move it once.
Yeah. Well, the old school Kindles actually have a button. You
Yeah,
push the button and it turns the page.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
So, Kindle reading in the bath. There you go. Take your Kindle, wrap it in a Ziploc bag.
Yeah, I read on my phone in the bathtub, and it just does a little tap on the phone. So.
How about you guys? Tell us more about the writing. You have to fill in space since
Go crazy.
Zach isn't here.
Well, not that Zach, did anything besides, draw penises on stuff, but.
Oh, fantastic! No, Zach has recently returned to Miami and is sorting out how, because he doesn't have access to the same place that he used to broadcast from, and he can't do it in his house, so it's a whole thing.
Because it's midnight.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's midnight there in Miami.
Yay, and I'm the douche that's the cause of it. Woohoo!
No.
Well, I mean, we could have done it earlier in the day, except for he still would have had the same problems.
Well,
Yeah, basically.
you just never let me have anything.
Okay, if you want to be the douche, go ahead, be the douche.
I would like
You can
to
be the douche.
Thank you very much.
He would like to be the thing squirting up inside somebody's. Anyway, so
Hey, it's for cleansing and good. It's just good hygiene.
No, it's not, actually. It's very bad hygiene, but we don't need to go there.
No, I was talking about me. I'm very hygienic. I just got out of the shower. What were you talking about? Oh.
Please elaborate, Chrissy. What's going on?
I Oh, Rissy, I
So
cannot
about
even
that local
believe.
sports team.
Okay, Sean Platt. I formatted a crap ton of books for Sean and the gang over the last few days, including I formatted Lexi Maxwell's new book, La Fleur de Blanc, and I'm actually really really proud of that one. I I haven't read the book yet. I'm in their Dropbox, so I can literally steal their books whenever I want to. Not that I do. I buy them,
But you
um,
could.
but yeah,
Unless it hasn't come out yet, and then you steal it and then buy it later.
yeah, exactly. But no, the cover for La Fleur de Blanc, I feel like you know how they said that the cover that they got, like they did their whole '99 design spiel, and it actually
Mhm.
felt like a like a like a legit
Like a thing.
romance cover, you know?
Mhm.
Well, I feel like I extended that to the whole book because here's the thing. This is a thing that if you're an indie author out there watching or
And
listening,
I am.
yeah, and you are,
I am.
you need to pay attention to this.
I'm right here.
What when you get a book cover designed, get a whole cover, get a hardcover dust jacket designed, and then when you're publishing it to ebook, cut the front cover out of it, because otherwise it makes it way harder when you try to go to print later. So much harder because the guys for a long time they were just getting front covers done, you know.
Mhm.
Um, and like that just went on and on, and it actually went on after I first told them the first time, like, hey, get the whole thing, because if I'm doing these things in print, I need to fucking do my thing, you know.
Mhm.
But this one, it had an image that wrapped all the way around the back of the book and everything like that, and it just looks really good. I'm really really happy with it.
Is it out yet?
La Fleur de Blanc? I think so. Yes, it is. It is. I know because I pulled the sales copy off of Amazon. La Fleur
I
de
know I
Blanc.
grabbed The Future of Sex just because, well, I was curious.
That's how it always starts.
So, Le Fleur de Blanc, isn't it that little design thingy that's on ties?
No, that's a
Uh,
fleur de lis.
Oh, right. Okay. I was close.
You were not close
It's
at
all
all.
Italian.
Nope.
Whatever.
Wow. Oh my God, it got worse.
Wow.
Just keep correcting me. I can keep this up. Go ahead. Just,
Oh boy, it was when I was formatting the interior of La Fleur de Blanc. I actually I skimmed through some chapters and everything like that. It's definitely like a romance as opposed to like Lexi's normal stuff, because I've read some of Lexi's stuff.
Uh-huh.
Not ashamed to say, and it's quite good, but it's very schwabang. Like, oh, and now they're banging on the desk, and they're banging on the couch, and they're banging over the stairs, and all sorts of stuff. And this is much more like an actual. I I would have to read it before I could like say this with any kind of authority or anything like that. Oh shit! A whole bunch of comments just popped in.
Oh, gee.
But it feels like Lexi's what do you call it? Axis of Aaron. You know what I mean? Like it's a more literary, in-depth, romantic story that is still very much Lexi. Like
Right.
I'm sure I didn't see them, but I'm sure there are still a couple of sex scenes in there that are like Schwappa! So
Well, it is Lexi.
that's what I'm saying. It's Lexi.
And, well, aren't Sean and Johnny actually writing some of it?
Fleur de Blanc?
I
I'm
don't know
not
about
clear on
Fleur de
that.
Blanc. I know The Future of Sex, they wrote everything except for the sex scenes.
Right, and not the same thing with adult video quite. Lexi had more input on that one. But holy shit, speaking of which, if you have not read adult video, fucking go read adult video. That shit is hilarious. I fucking crapped myself laughing. It's so fucking funny.
Was
It's
that part of the
really,
cleanse?
really good. Huh?
Is that part
That's
of the
part of the cleanse. Yes,
Yeah.
that's part of the body cleanse. I'm trying to bring up where the fucking God damn it. Oh, that's because... Oh, I see. I'm trying to show you guys the cover because I'm actually quite proud of it, and I want to show off what I did. Here we go. What?
Did I just start ranting about something while you do that?
No, here it is. So that's
There you go.
that's the hardcover cover. With the it's got the dust jacket flaps on both sides and everything like that.
And her
Oh,
new
that's really
picture
good.
of her face that's not her face.
Of her face, that's not her face. Yes, she has to hide who she is from the world.
I don't think that's even her at all.
No, it's not. It's not. I know that. I know that.
That woman has. I was gonna say that woman has really nice elbows, but never mind now. It seems like a wasted compliment.
You guys totally missed the fact where I said I know that actress.
Do you?
I don't.
I have no idea. I can't see what her fucking face is. But like, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious that is a pornographic picture. So that would be a porn star. So like, that's that thing. Have you ever read that story? I feel like that's a trope in certain, I don't know, stories or something like that. Like I've read it in a few stories where one of the characters was a porn star, and people see them in public and they're staring at them. They're like they recognize them from something, and of course the porn star knows where they recognize it from, but the person can't place it. And they're out there with their girlfriend or their wife or something like that, and they're looking at her and they're looking at her, and then they go, oh. And then they like quickly look away, like my wife must not see me looking.
There was some movie I saw that with, and the lady just turns around and goes, "You know me from porn. That's where you know me from."
There we go. I think that was actually in a Friends episode, wasn't it?
I don't. Yeah, it might have been. It sounds
that
like
true?
something Phoebe would have said.
Yeah. Well, Phoebe's sister was like actually in porn, if you remember.
Oh yeah,
is
that's
this,
right.
Is this about to turn into a Friends trivia show? Is that?
No, let's
should
not
that
do
be
that.
the topic?
Miss Astro Stone.
Phoebe's
Miss
twin
Astro Stone
sister.
commented. She said, "Howdy, y'all. I came in just in time for porn. Good timing. Hi."
You're
It's
welcome.
always just in time for porn.
Raymond Gottberg wrote what I think is supposed to be a haiku. It says, "I was going to get a pen today. It did not come. Well, maybe it will be here tomorrow." If it is a haiku, you fucked up, Raymond.
No, it's him complaining about something that I ordered for him. It's not here yet.
Ah, I see.
I don't know why he's complaining in the comments though.
I have no idea. And then Dylan Perry said that Sean and Johnny wrote most, if not all, of Le Fleur de Blanc, but I honestly don't. I don't remember. I'm sketchy on the details on that. But anyway, check it out. Buy the hardcover. I'm very proud of it. I was going somewhere. No, I had a thought. Fuck, I had such a good thought. Oh, it was
You had
fantastic.
a thought and then it was gone.
And then someone named John Smith commented and said, "Hello, all." Hello, John Smith. I don't. Oh, I can bring his comment up. Guys, we got to get off Hangouts. Next week, I want to try Skyping it and doing the whole live event broadcasting thing, because Hangouts just blow.
Okay.
You know me.
I told you
Set it
guys.
up. Make
Sorry.
it easy.
Go ahead, Grizzy.
I said, set it up, make it easy for me, and I will.
Yeah. No, it's very easy. Like, do you know how to Skype? Have you Skyped?
I have
before?
never Skyped. I don't even have it on my computer. I don't have
Okay,
a Skype
well,
account.
It's significantly easier to use than Google Hangouts, and it's also free,
I
so
just-
it's like,
Click like 3 buttons and I'm on
on
Hangout.
Skype, you click one.
Skype is an easy 37-step process, but after you do it a couple dozen times,
And you only pay $49.99.
Fucking liar.
Six and-
$49.97.
Okay.
$47.95.
I'm
$47.95.
so wrong.
well, that's the sale price. Some of us weren't lucky enough to get that, Garrett. Thanks.
Sorry. But in other news, I've also formatted a bunch of Guy Incognito titles for Sean, and then I'm currently working on formatting his a solo book for Sean called Four Seasons, which I'm really excited to read because
Oh,
He
I've heard of
talked
that.
about it. Yeah, and it's out there on Amazon. Again, I'm not spoiling anything for anybody. I'm not scooping them on their own release. But it's a story about 12 people over 12 months whose lives are all interconnected in a very kind of like Love Actually kind of way, you know?
Mhm.
And the last one is them together.
Yeah, I think so, I guess.
Mhm.
But that's cool.
Yeah, he's talked about it a couple of times on the podcast and how, and he's actually said what the last chapter is.
Yeah.
So.
Nicholas Klingborg in the comments said, "Good morning, let's get this party started." There he is.
Let's get this
And
party started.
Raymond says, "I'm complaining in the comments because I can." I guess that's a reason.
He better be careful, else I'm gonna take that tablet away from him.
Ah.
Mom wins.
So, what else has been going on? Oh God, I'm so tired. That's the other thing, is that sitting in a sauna for like 3 or 4 hours a day, I'm just like ugh.
Dehydrated, drink more water.
No, trust me, I'm drinking like shit tons of water. Like that's the whole point, is that you sweat out all the bad stuff and you drink lots of water to flush it all out and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, the vitamins. Oh my God, so many. I don't know how you are with vitamins, but I think they taste like ass.
Well, I don't know. I was reading this article from the New York Times where they actually tested like supplements and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and there's none of what it says is supposed to be in there. Like 95% of them are rice powder.
Well, not these ones, because my fucking pee is neon and I'm shitting black water. It's not quite that bad, but some shit's happening with the body. It's not dark powder. I've had rice.
It was
Don't do this to me.
no, it was actually not vitamins though. It was supplements like ginkgo,
Like ginkgo biloba and shit like that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. And those are all, apparently most of them are not what they say they are.
Right. Well, there you go.
I feel
Scope
so
that
close
shit
to
out
you now,
before you
Peter.
buy it. What?
I feel so close to you now.
Because you know about my
All of your
waste,
bodily
my
functions.
excretions.
It's like we don't even have to hang out. It's like I'm there.
Ever.
Ever. Or if we do, it's always going to be in a public place. You are not coming over my house.
That's fantastic. It's fine, stay in your house. I'm pretty sure I can still poop on you from here. Speaking of which,
We've degraded to poop joke.
we really have. Speaking of
If
which, you know what I
anything,
saw
we've
last
stepped
week?
up to poop
Poop?
jokes.
We
It's
have
an advance.
honestly stepped up to poop jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
saw
an
last
advance.
week? I saw
What
A
did you-
Million Ways to Die in the West, and that is
I want to see that.
it's so good. Oh
That is
my
a damn
God.
funny movie.
It's a fucking hilarious movie. What I
Derek-
didn't get from the previews, and I didn't get until I actually saw the film. A Million Ways to Die in the West is not just some catchy title. Everybody's fucking dying because it's the 1800s, and like everybody's dying. You get diarrhea, you die. You get a cut, it gets infected, and you die. You know, people are shooting each other all over the goddamn place.
And people die at the fair.
And people die at the fair, man.
People die at the fair.
People die at the fair. That's a joke that you get. When
I saw a clip of it on like Conan or something, and it's freaking hilarious.
Conan or Conan? Because I would love to see a talk show named Conan.
Conan, whatever.
Welcome. Tell us about your movie.
The
No,
guy
shut up,
with
I will
the
crush
orange
you.
fucking hair, okay?
Oh, fantastic.
Defeat the sitcoms, to beat the ratings and see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the audience.
Fantastic. There's a Conan board game, by the way. Have you guys heard about that? Conan board game?
Yep,
No.
my friend owns it, and we played it, and it's fun.
Conan the
owns
Barbarian?
it? It's the Kickstarter is still going.
Well, then it's obviously more than one board game in existence based on the world of Conan. Who
Clearly,
the heck-
there is no. Get this, guys. Get this. There is a board game based off of Conan. It's called Conan the Board Game.
Whoa.
They started a Kickstarter campaign for it. There's 7 days left to go.
Mm-hmm.
They asked for $80,000.
Mm-hmm.
They are sitting at $1.6 million.
Do you think they're gonna make it?
I don't know.
It's cutting it close.
It's cutting it pretty close, but it's like, Jesus Christ. I mean, I'm sure it's probably going to be a pretty good board game. Apparently, the people working on it are like good people and whatnot who have like made good games in the past. But
Well,
like,
it's from Monolith, which
oh, well, that makes sense.
they're a pretty big
Oh.
board game manufacturer. I mean, I know their name.
That's a pretty monolithic Kickstarter.
No.
I apologize
Whoa,
to everybody involved.
looks cool. It's got miniatures and everything.
Yeah. No, it's a board game. Miss Astro Stone does not like me talking about my excretions.
What? That's so weird.
It is a board game with miniatures. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I own a lot of those.
miniatures.
Board games with miniatures.
I own a couple.
In other related news, I've been playing a ridiculous amount of Settlers of Catan.
5 at least. Oh, and Settlers. Settlers is awesome.
Oh my god, that game.
That game's great.
So good.
I have that on my phone and I haven't figured it out yet.
Wait, you have what on your phone?
Settlers of Catan.
And you haven't you have it on your phone? What?
Yeah, I bought it from Humble Bundle. There's a digital version of it, and I just haven't figured out how to operate the program.
Oh, that seems like it would be terrible though.
I don't know. I got Small World on,
terrible? It's
you
a
know,
dice rolling
Small World, the
Yeah.
board game.
Okay,
I
two
got
things.
that one
Two
on my
things.
phone.
The board seems way too big for a phone screen, like to be a pleasurable gaming experience on a phone screen.
You can expand and contract.
Okay. Two, games take like an hour and a half minimum.
Yeah, and then you save it and come back to it later.
Oh, so you're not playing with other people.
I think you can, but I don't know.
Either you can't play with other people, in which case I'm out, or you can play with other people, in which case you're playing an hour and a half game on your phone. I don't put games on my phone to play them for an hour and a half. You know what I mean? Like phone games should
Well,
take
it's
me
a
like
tablet. I mean, it's Android, so you can put it on your tablet too.
Here's the thing, though. If you're in the sauna for 3-4 hours,
my phone is not in the
What the hell is
sauna.
he
I'll tell you that much right now.
not yet, but maybe you should start. You're welcome.
That's what a Ziploc bag is for.
Exactly. This is it. And if you're
Or
really
a
that
condom.
concerned,
Actually,
just-
I have actually heard that a condom is like pretty good for that because
It's waterproof.
Have you heard that?
it's waterproof and it's designed to be somewhat like
Uh-huh.
It's a prophylactic.
it's designed to fuck. It's
It
designed to be
prevents water damage.
God damn it. It's designed to be somewhat like skin so that when you touch it, it will actually transmit. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't wrapped my phone in a condom.
I thought the whole point of a condom is to prevent transmission.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Scott's off the show. Scott's fired.
If Scott's off the show, we have no show.
So long, everybody.
Oh god.
Half the hair's ratio of the show goes with me.
And that's including my beard.
Oh, jeez.
Oh jeez. So anyways. So listen. We've been talking for like 20 minutes now, and I've talked about a crap ton of things that have been happening to me in the last 2 weeks since we did a show. Something has to be happening in your guys' life. When we start, I would just like to propose that, like, when Tuesday comes around, we all sit down and we, like, think about what's been going on. It's helpful. It's a good
In
practice.
In my defense, Mr. Jibber Jabber, I've been very busy.
Well, tell us about it.
But the tales of Mr. Salad Shooter over here has been reigning supreme over the conversation, and Lord knows I'm not about to interrupt this.
To be fair, I would rather be Mr. Salad Shooter than Mr. Salad Tosser.
It's a slippery slope.
That's what she said. So, what's been going on with you, Scott?
Not much.
God fucking damn it. You cock.
Okay.
What a dick.
I have been And I've honestly been tossing back and forth the idea of actually saying it on the air, but I'm not going to go into details. But I am working on something, and I figure it's at least worthy of talking about. So basically, with the life situation being what it is, I've actually started writing romance novels under a different pen name.
Ooh. Do we get to know what the pen name is?
No. You get to know nothing. Just that.
Please tell me it includes the word
Nothing.
rod.
Well, he's got
it
to
does
do a
now.
female.
So it
Yeah,
could
it's
be
gotta
it could be initials Rod. It could be like J.K. Rod. Nope. It couldn't be that.
It'd be Car Ramrod. Say
Car Ramrod.
It's gonna be yep.
Awesome.
J.K. Ramrod. There we go.
J.K. Ramrod.
J.K. Ramrod.
Harry Potter fanfic. That's what that is.
There you go. Somebody's gonna use that now.
I think so. I bet you somebody already has. I'm Googling it right now.
Speaking of the Harry Potter fanfic, have you seen that whole wild thing about Draco eating that apple? And there's like a whole fanfic
No.
surrounding that whole relationship between him and that goddamn apple.
What?
I don't think
Yeah.
I want to. No.
Not kidding. That's the thing. It's one of those. The internet is. It just comes at you, and you
I'm
come
just
across
wondering-
information accidentally.
Where you find this kind of stuff?
I swear to God, it's just the internet. It's there. I don't know. I did not go searching for it. I don't read fanfic.
J.K. Ramrod is an entire internet presence and online business about frisbee golf.
As you would expect.
As you would totally expect.
Well, I found an interesting article the other day about J.K. Rowling. I did not know she had been the first billionaire author.
Really?
Yeah.
I believe it.
And then she gave away most of her fortune to charity to help underprivileged children.
Lame.
I know, right?
I think she also works with the... Does she work with the Harry Potter Alliance, or is that completely independent of her?
I'm not sure. I know she made her own charity though.
That's freaking awesome. Well done to her.
It's a charity that specifically works with youth in the system,
Yeah.
Homeless or foster children. I think that's what it is. So yeah, I thought that was kind of awesome.
That's super awesome. Did you guys hear about Harper Lee?
There was something on it earlier this morning on Reddit.
Harper Lee, author of To Kill a Mockingbird.
Oh yeah.
Oh right.
Publishing a sequel.
Yep.
Now. 55
I didn't even know she was
years
still
later.
alive.
I'll leave.
Did you say George R. R. Martin's response
Yes,
to
I
that on
did.
Twitter?
I wanted to bring it up, but you can say it if you want to.
He's you people say I write slow.
Yeah. George R. R. Martin actually tweeted, Harper Lee is publishing a sequel 55 years later, and you people say I write slow.
Yep.
That is an actual George R. R. Martin tweet on his actual Twitter account.
What was it?
That
I
makes
missed
me
it.
happy. George R. R. Martin tweeted, Harper Lee is publishing a sequel 55 years after her book, and you guys say I write slow.
That's great. It's fantastic.
Nicholas Klingborg jumping into the comments to report that he used to put his phone in a condom throughout military service. People laughed at him, but his phone was dry.
See? It's a good idea.
I'm thinking...
Even the military has free condoms.
I'm thinking... I probably do, right? I'm thinking if you do that, you kind of have to get the non-lubricated condoms, though, right?
Yes.
Do you have need for your phone to be lubricated? Is this...
Where are you sticking this phone?
I'm just wondering if you don't use lubrication, will it break the condom?
If you use lubrication, then you're going to get lubrication all over your phone.
I think...
And I can't think that that's good for your phone.
If you're just not too rough, then the condom won't break. You have soft hands, Garrett, and just if you're having trouble, don't force it. You just gotta finesse it is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just because it's an awkward fit, and I know it is. I mean, the phone, it's just all over, and so just
Yeah.
lightly like stroke it with thumb
Yeah.
until it does what you want it to do.
Yeah.
And I think the condom will work out just fine.
Okay, this reading from Scott's new romance novel, brought to you by the Storytelling Podcast. You will be able to find his book, Rod Sterling,
Rod Sterling.
An Erect Affair, on all ebook stores tomorrow.
That's the next book I'm writing.
Oh, boy. Miss Astrostone said romance. Ooh, Scott, fluttering her eyelashes. Scott, I think that calls for a hair flip.
What there we go. You're welcome. And of course, because it's me, but unfortunately, you have to still follow the rules of romance. I can't kill anyone, and it's driving me crazy.
You can kill the bad guy, can't you?
There is no bad guy in romance. Not really. I mean, there's all the side characters, and I can't just write like a contemporary romance where a chick meets a dude on the train and then she meets his rich family or whatever. It's like, no, there's witches and magic and dragons and extra
Oh, well, then
minor-
somebody's gotta die. Like, somebody's gotta die.
Minor characters get beat up so far, and I don't know. But there's gonna be a holy war. It's gonna be awesome. I'm not.
Kill someone.
can't
Kill someone.
not- Trust me, I want to. Look right here. Look at me. I want to.
There was
I
a
want to kill them
I
all.
want to kill them all, but I can't. They have to have a happily ever after.
there's a couple of series I read of paranormal romance that had minor characters dying.
Mm.
So it's not unheard of.
No, it's not. But
I mean,
it's
look at
like-
Nicholas Sparks. Every fucking protagonist in all of his books has cancer. They all die at the end of the book.
But are they romance books?
Nicholas Sparks?
I don't know Nicholas Sparks.
The Notebook. Every
Good.
Channing Tatum romantic comedy you've ever seen.
I prefer Channing Tatum comedy.
Speaking
21
of
Jump
Channing,
Street.
Don't
speaking
even know
of
who
Channing
that
Tatum,
is.
this Friday, Jupiter Ascending. Holy crap! I can't wait to see that movie.
I'm on the fence about that one. I'll give it a chance.
I'm-
I'll
yeah.
see it. But I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It looks like it could really go either way in a big way.
Yeah.
For
Like,
sure.
it could really
I've
suck.
decided to adopt a very non-cynical attitude from here on out because I feel like I get too cynical about things and I just want to stop it. I just want to completely stop. I just want to be like, you know what? Awesome trailer. I want to see that movie. Like, that's my attitude.
Have you seen The Maze Runner yet?
No, because the book sucked balls. I don't want to watch that movie.
Like Divergent all over again.
Worse than Divergent, and that's a bar. That's a bar you can
The
stand
book was
on.
pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you know what? I tried watching Divergent because I have HBO, and so it just comes on, and I'm like, all right, let's see what Garrett hates so much about
That's
this.
what he says about his porn too, by the way. It
It
just comes on. I totally don't.
just comes on, and also I take your recommendations on that as well. And thank you, by the way, for your previous recommendations. They were fantastic. So back to
I don't
Divergent.
even want to know.
Oh, I'll tell you later.
Back to Divergent.
Yeah, it could not even keep my interest. Like, my child's toys were more interesting to me than the movie. And in the times that I glanced up and was paying attention, I'm like, no, that doesn't make any sense. And I go back to the 1.5-year-old. And then I glance back up. I'm like, why are... Really? No. Okay, and then I go back. And I'm like, what? Really? No. Okay, and then I go, yeah. And that was basically for about 45 minutes until I literally forgot it was on, and I went to go do something else. And I don't know what happens in the rest of the movie. So,
That's
That sounds
fantastic. Fred Miller
fantastic.
suggests that autoerotic asphyxiation is the ultimate romance technique.
is it?
Something
Not if it's
for
auto.
something for one of your hey, self-romance is romance. That's what Narcissus said.
Love thyself.
Is that a category? Self-romance?
It's
Oh
about
my
to be.
God! If it's not a category, it needs to be. Lexi, get on that. All right,
So
so
there's a topic at one point, right?
yeah, there was.
I'm pretty
at
sure
one
we
point.
trampled it, but do we want to try to make a Yui?
I wanted to talk about what we've been reading recently. Have you guys been reading recently?
Well, I'm gonna go.
Actually, yes.
Scott's out.
I,
Drop the mic.
that's all I got.
I've been reading this in the sauna. It's Catherine Kerr,
Yeah.
Daggerspell.
Mhm.
Somebody sent this to me anonymously.
Awesome.
I think there was a name on it, but I didn't recognize the name. And I have that thing where I have my Amazon wish list up, and if somebody knows me on Amazon, they can actually find my wish list and they can send me a gift anonymously. And every once in a while, I just get a book in the mail.
That's cool.
And I'd heard the title of this book, even though I'd never read it before. So, I was spending a lot of time in the sauna, so I figured I'd pick it up, and it's fucking good. It's really good. It's crazy good. Actually, I'm curious when it came out. I want to look that up real quick. But either of you guys read this?
No.
Have not. It actually it looks and it sounds familiar, like
Mhm.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
somewhere. But I don't.
So it came out in 1986, the year I was born, actually.
My dad was really big on those kinds
What's the name of it again?
Daggerspell.
Daggers.
and so it's just he would read every night, so I would see like the fantasy books like on the side table next to the recliner in the living room,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's just like you pass by it every day, and it's like you just start, you recognize certain covers and daggers. So I'm pretty sure I've seen that one, but I haven't read it myself.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's what it is for me as well, because my dad was exactly the same way. It was just like fucking romance books. Romance books. That was my mom. My mom had romance books everywhere. My dad had fantasy books everywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like I grew up walking by the names Nora Roberts and Terry Goodkind like every single day.
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
It's really, really good. It's fantasy.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
A pointed question on that to help you
Yes.
ramble on about it in a direction. What would you say about this book so far would set it apart, like in a unique way from other fantasies? Like
It deals with reincarnation in a fantasy setting,
Interesting.
which is not something that I see very often, other than
Right.
one person is the reborn chosen one. What's his
Right.
face from Wheel of Time was like the reborn and all that sort of stuff. But
Right.
this is
Does it happen frequently?
No, my urban fantasy does that, but
everything is done out there in somebody's book, but I'm talking about like in big name whatever.
Right.
So basically this kid is in love with this girl or whatever, but she has somebody else who's in love with her, and we need to touch on that in a minute. And he screws things up and basically gets her and the other guy killed. Now, honestly, he takes the blame for what happens. I look at the scenario, I'm like, no, that's not really your fault. Like, whatever. You did the best you could. But he blames himself, and he swears, and he finds out from a wizard, and he's training to become a wizard himself. He finds out from a wizard that when we die, we come back. Like, that's a thing that wizards apparently know, and we get reborn in new bodies and whatever. And he says, well then, I will find her when she's reborn, and I will make it right, and I will never rest until I make it right with her and the guy that died. And that, like, it's like sort of that, like, careful what you wish for moment, and he becomes immortal. So he grows up into old age and then just keeps going for 400 years trying to find her, and he does. He finds her, and all of the other like characters in the whole drama over and over and over again. It just keeps fucking up because they're like, that's the fate that they're like tied to, and
Like
he
forever.
yeah. And he has to do this long build over hundreds of years to set the groundwork to break them from the fate, and it's really fucking good. I hope it
That
doesn't.
sounds amazing.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't have a
Yeah.
shitty ending because I'm only halfway through it right now.
Well, fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
So is it like one of those things where he has to keep making minor changes to like just slowly offset it?
Yeah,
that
he keeps
kinda like
trying
that?
to, but he doesn't like know that much. Like
Right.
the very next time he sees her, and it's also told like a little bit out of sequence. Like there's one storyline that's going over and over again. Like it keeps returning to this one storyline,
Mhm.
which is later than all the other ones. So
Mhm.
it's obviously the one where the situation is going to be resolved one way or another. Like you get that in the first
Right.
few chapters.
Right.
But every time he goes back to an earlier thing, he's learning more and more. Like the first time he sees them, he's like, "Oh, good, now I can fix this," and da 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 da. And when he tries to fix it, it just just everything gets all fucked up. And he's like,
JK.
"Yeah," he's like, "Oh, because there's fate. Oh, I get it. Okay." And then he has to sort of like work his way around that.
So with every iteration, is the time era advancing, or is it all pretty much stay the same?
It's pretty much the same. Little
Okay.
things change,
But like
clans
like
rise and fall.
politics and
Yeah.
stuff. But like
It sounds a lot like the butterfly effect.
that's what. Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I saw a movie called The Butterfly Effect,
Yeah.
and that was not.
It was him changing things just a little bit all the time, trying to save one girl, and he couldn't save her. And it was because every time he did something,
Oh, that's
It
that
ended up
Ashton
making
Kutcher
it
movie.
worse.
What am I thinking of? I'm thinking
Yeah.
of. I was thinking of a different movie.
The
Yeah.
first one was awesome. Every other one was ridiculously terrible.
There's
there
sequels.
were more than one.
Oh yeah, don't.
God.
It's like watching the sequel to Donnie Darko. It just
There's a sequel to Donnie Darko.
Don't. It
Yeah.
sounded like it would be good. Like when you read the blurb on the back, it's called like S Darko or something like that. It sounds like it would be good because it was supposed to be the tale of Donnie Darko told from the viewpoint of his sister. But it's not. It's like after the fact, like by a few years, and it's just the sister's tale, and it's so terrible. It's so terrible. Like it's a C movie. It's not even B. Like it's just crap.
That's fantastic.
Just so dagger spell.
Dagger Spell, really good,
Epic.
really well written. It's written in this refreshing way. The last epic fantasy that I read was Game of Thrones 5, the fifth
Mhm.
one, and I mean, you've heard me talk about it before. It's like Game of Thrones. George R. R. Martin can go on a little bit. He can just go on, and it's like, okay, okay, I get it. I get it. You're still talking about the goddamn drawbridge. They're not even in the castle yet. Like, it gets annoying.
But it's a really awesome drawbridge.
It's the best drawbridge ever.
Doesn't he write like 250 words a day?
Something like that. If
Something,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about
But,
the
hey,
drawbridge.
he still writes faster than Harper Lee. This one, it will have scenes and moments and whatever that go into description that's really well written and really beautiful and everything like that. And then like 2 months will pass in a couple of paragraphs. And it's jarring after reading Game of Thrones, but viewing it objectively, it's actually really refreshing because it's just like, I don't need to know. I don't fucking care about all this time. The next important thing that happened was 2 months later, so it gets there very quickly. She,
Mhm.
author's a woman.
Mm.
It's fantastic. It's really, really well done. It's not the most artful writing I've ever seen. It doesn't have the style of something like a Lord of the Rings or something like
As long
that.
as it gets the job done and doesn't get in the way.
Exactly. It doesn't get in the way of its own story, and that is it's impressive. So
Yeah, it reminds me of a book called Orcs, and it's just this fantasy tale. It's like three
Yeah.
parts told from the tale of orcs.
Yeah.
Now the writing in that extremely basic. Like,
Right.
There is not a flowery word to be seen throughout the whole thing. It's just they did this, they went here, he said this, and I'm just like, but it doesn't get in the way. Like it's good enough, and so you just get into the story.
And it's a story about fucking orcs. Like, there's not gonna be like, and then he laid his hand upon the brow. It's like,
No, but you could also have taken it far more, guttural and aggressive. You could have
dark
been
and whatever.
but the writing was just basic words. And I remember like realizing it and kind of feeling like it should bother me, but then it didn't because it didn't get in the way.
Right.
So yeah. I was wondering, is Daggerspell a one-off or is it part of a series or?
I think
series.
it's supposed to be part of a series. Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I just looked it up, and I recognize the cover because after looking through it on Google with all the different series, I've seen them at the thrift store all the time.
Yeah.
Apparently, she's a very popular read.
And I think that this book was sent to me after we did, or I did. I think I requested at one point for more people to tell me about female authors because I wanted to experience more of that. And I think that I got this after that. And by the way, if you happen to be watching the show and you're the person who sent me the book, thank you. I love it. It's really, really good. Yeah, I just felt like I wasn't reading enough anymore, and I was like, oh fuck, 3 or 4 hours a day in the sauna. Actually, literally, I'm halfway through the book. I started reading it last night. It's just like it's
Really?
It's really, really good.
You read fast.
I do read pretty fast. Yes. Okay, the one thing that I want to talk about, incest. What the fuck is with fantasy novels and incest? God damn it,
dude!
Why is there incest in that book?
Yes.
After I put my foot in my mouth about rape culture last show, and now you want to talk about incest? I'm just, you know what? I'm just not even gonna comment.
The guy. So I told you that the guy is in love with this girl, and so is someone else. Well, the someone else is her brother, and they do it.
It does kind of come up pretty often in fantasy books, I've noticed.
It definitely does.
It is a weird, frequent subplot.
I think that it's the mistaken idea that it was common back in those days.
Well,
Was it?
Yeah, maybe.
Because, yes, it did happen, and it was. I mean, it's a lot more common for like cousin relationships than people tend to believe too. But
oh, for sure. I mean, even
but not so much brother and sister.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now not. It was probably more common back then, but still, it's not like I wouldn't say normal.
Yeah. Well, it's not normal there. Like they know it's wrong and it's a big shameful secret and everything like that. But it's like it's this weird thing. I feel, and it's hard to say because Game of Thrones and this book are like 20 freaking 30 almost years old by now. But I feel like it's a trope for shock value. You know what I mean? Like I said, hard to say that it's a trope when there's a 30.
When did Flowers in the Attic come out? About the same time?
Sure.
Flowers in the Attic, though, that's a whole different kind of story.
1979, yeah, so that was like 7 years beforehand, yeah.
Yeah, and that was like the ultimate incest book.
But that's not even, that's not fantasy or anything, though. That's more contemporary than anything.
But that was like one of the most popular books that year. When it came out, it was like huge, and there's still more of those. There's like tons of them, and all of the books deal with incest. Every single one in that whole series. I know, because I've read several of them.
Well, when you're bored in an attic, what else are you going to do, right?
Well, it's about
poisoned by cookies.
It's about a brother and sister who are locked in an attic, and they come of age, and they've got hormones. So
they couldn't have played D&D or something? I mean, come on.
Go and fiddle in the corner somewhere by themselves?
I don't know. Some of my D&D games got pretty racy.
Oh,
yeah, we're not going to talk about that because I have
no.
Oh, really?
Storytelling podcast then becomes the D&D storytelling podcast.
Oh my god, I would totally start up a podcast where we just played a game of D&D.
I'd do that. I love D&D.
Fucking awesome.
It's fun.
We'd have to live in the same place though, because I refuse to do that shit online.
Hey,
why?
it's not
You don't
my
trust
fault.
my rolls?
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I rolled 7 20s in a row. It's not my fault. Look, I'll turn the camera down. See, it's on 20. It's yeah.
Fantastic. By the way, Dylan Perry pointed out a good point on something we said earlier in the show. Le Fleur de Blanc is on Amazon for pre-order. It comes out on Valentine's Day. Go figure. So anyway, yeah. So the incest thing. I mean, it's appropriate because it's the whole reason that the love affair between the two of them gets all messed up and blah 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 blah. But yeah, it was just a little bit like, really, incest again?
Yeah, I think things like that, they just stand out more in your memory.
Yeah.
And it's like, while we were talking about rape the other day or other things like that. Yes, they are sometimes put in there for shock value.
Yeah.
Other times they make an appropriate part of the storyline. It's like damsels in distress. I was talking to somebody about games with
women in fridges. Yeah.
Video, yeah. Damsels in Distress is a legitimate plot
For sure.
that you can have in a story or a video game or whatever.
The only problem is when it's 85% of all storylines are damsels in distress.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you have 1,000 games and a handful of them are damsel in distress, there's nothing wrong with that.
Right. Exactly.
So, and it's just that if you are looking for a particular thing, or if that thing is extraordinary, something that you don't normally encounter, you're going to notice it more.
Right, exactly.
It's like when you're reading a book and the author uses a very uncommon word.
Yes.
That really stands out at you, and then like
you see that word like
pages,
5 times.
Right. But then it starts becoming repetitious. It's like, okay, dude, it was really good the first time you used it. Now
you're talking about that. I was talking about like sometimes I'll like read a word and read a book and see a word that like I don't think I've ever seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And then over the next 5 days, I'll see it like 5 different places, different places,
Okay.
and I'm like, where the fuck? But I think that it probably was like floating around, but like
Right.
I just never. It
Yeah.
never sunk in.
Kind of like when you buy a car, you suddenly see your car everywhere.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chrissy, you said you were reading something as well, right?
Yes. So I'm not going to tell you the name or the author of the book.
It's porn. It's
What's
Penthouse.
the name of it?
Playboy by Hugh Hefner.
So I heard, I was listening to the Rocking Self-Publishing podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking to an author about serials or about his book, and so I went and I downloaded the first one because it was free, and I was interested in specifically the cliffhangers, and because I'm writing, I'm sort of like half-heartedly writing a story on the side, mostly focused on finishing my novel, but every once in a while I get stuck or whatever and just need a break, and I'll go work on this other little thing that's just fun.
Yeah.
And I want it to have cliffhanger endings so that it can keep going. And so I was curious. And
You're dancing around this a lot, Chrissy.
he really needs an
I know.
editor.
Oh no!
Oh.
Oh no!
I'm so. And he talks about on the podcast. He talks about getting an editor and having people read his stuff, and sometimes it's just.
Sometimes, yeah, dude. Sometimes finding an editor is not enough. Like,
Right.
I mean, we've told this story on the podcast before, but when Zach had written Danny Calloway, he was looking for an editor, and there was somebody found him, and they were like, hey, I'm an English professor, and blah 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 blah, and they started editing his book, and I got it after she had edited it. That always sounds like I'm like drunk.
Yes, I know.
And I was like, dude, there's this and this and that. There were multiple errors on every single page.
Uh-huh.
you know,
So either
an editor
he
is
was,
not an
his
editor.
writing was like really horrible, and she found a lot of them, and there were still more.
No, you can't. There were things that you just can't miss. You
Right.
know.
And
Um,
yeah, because I had a Siren's Tears edited, and I paid $400 for it, which to me, $400 is a lot of money. That's half my rent for the month.
That is a lot of money. Yeah.
And I will go back over it. And I'm not very good at editing. I freely admit that. I can't spell worth a damn. And I read it and I can find errors like all the time.
right.
So I know I need to get it re-edited.
And
But
beta
I already-
readers are not editors. They are at best developmental editors.
If you get like tons of them, you might catch most of your needed edits, but you
I
still
don't think so because I have beta read 2 books for people to this date, and I won't do it again because it's like I can never commit to a deadline.
Oh well, there goes that. I was just about to ask. Go ahead.
And you like if I'm a beta reader, I'm not going to note down a comma in the wrong place.
Right.
And you know what I mean? Like they are not. You should not be using your beta readers for that. Every once in a while, when I had my big beta reading experience was on Rebel Yell. Every once in a while, somebody would say, "Hey, I saw this," and I would be like, "Thank you very much." But like I wasn't even done copy editing it yet, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's that.
I mainly use beta readers for 2 big things that they tend to help me out with. One is typos. I mean, grammar and punctuation and all of that, I usually have that pretty well unlocked, so I don't expect them to point that out. But a typo, when I'm reading it, even when I read it out loud sometimes, I will still read it as I meant it and not what's on the page. And my brain just glosses over it. So beta readers are fantastic for me, personally, for pointing out typos. And then the second thing are very minor story oversights where, like, the character puts down his backpack and then walks away and he's holding it, and they're like, when did he pick up his backpack? You know, little things like that. And it's like, oh, you're right. I need to point out that he actually picked that back up. It can't just be the magical teleporting backpack.
It can be, but you better stay in there somewhere that it is a magical teleporting backpack.
Right. I had a beta reader. I had a beta reader point out that I said the wrong character's name. It's like, I'm pretty sure that character wasn't in this scene, but you just said them, and I'm like, you're right. It was supposed to be the other one. Like stuff like that.
Right.
And reading it, like you said, even out loud, you don't necessarily notice. By the way, Scott, you are having a fantastic conversation with Nicholas Klingborg.
I really am, and I've been waiting to point that out.
It's going okay. I'm going to play the part of Nicholas Klingborg, and you're going to play yourself. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to read this conversation.
Sure.
Nicholas Klingborg. Someone should write a romance parody about a man and his hand.
What would the conflict be?
His hand has someone else.
Go on.
In the end, they find out that it wasn't supposed to be. The hand decides to leave. The man runs to the platform as the hand's train leaves. He sees the hand in a window and waves with his bloody stump where the hand used to be. And there she was. On the platform, he finds his left hand, and they live happily ever after.
And she was there the whole time.
And he could never see until he lost the one he thought he loved. For the record, the left hand is better.
I like to sit on it for 20 minutes.
I
I call it the stranger.
Oh my god.
Because, it goes, what? It's not weird. It's not weird unless you make it weird. Don't make it weird, bro.
I am making it weird right now. It's weird. MGon's in the comments. Hey, MGon. The #1 fan of the self-publishing podcast has graced us with his presence.
So glad that you could be here for this podcast.
Yeah, this is definitely the right podcast to come join us.
Definitely. Today would be the best.
So, Chrissy, editing aside, hard to get past?
It's just, it's not that it had like a whole bunch of error, like, grammar errors. It
Yeah.
was the style, and I felt like somebody going back over the sentences and cleaning them up and making them more concise, I guess.
Oh, like line editing.
Yeah, it would have been made it better.
This should be our topic next week. I want to talk about line editing.
I
We're almost
actually-
at the end of the show, so I'm just gonna toss out my viewpoint on line editing.
I think it may be a little known fact, but I actually do some freelance editing on the side.
No shit.
So I can talk line editing.
Yeah, we should definitely talk about it. Because I have a bit of a weird viewpoint on line editing.
Do you?
I think if you
Does
need line editing very badly, just means your writing isn't that good. Like that's my one thing is like I don't care if your story needs work, like you need help sorting out the beats of your story. And I don't care if your copy editing needs work, like you don't necessarily know where to place commas or how sentence structure works and you need some help with that. But like if your words don't flow
Right.
Line by line by line by line by line by line by
That's
line.
writing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I see where you can have, like, a few sentences here and there need a little brushing up.
Oh, sure.
That happens to all of us.
Yeah.
But if it's a whole book, yeah.
Maybe you need,
Maybe you need some
tell
more
you this.
practice.
It gets tiresome when
Yeah.
you're paid to line
Well,
edit the book.
And I
it's
feel
every
like
line.
as an author, I don't want to tell somebody else that their writing sucks.
Right, exactly. Like you
I
don't want to
s-
say, yeah.
Yeah,
And you know
especially
what?
if they've put it up on Amazon and I've bought the book and I don't want to give them a 1-star review because what are they going to do? Come dock me and say, "How dare you? Because you're an
A lot
author,
of
you can't do
people-
this."
If they don't like the book, a lot of people just, if they don't like it, they just won't leave a review. That
Right.
is the bad one.
Right. But that's a topic for another time. We should actually talk about that next week.
I'm open.
Raymond says, someone dares to challenge me as the #1 fan. Okay, we're talking about the #1 fan of a different podcast, Raymond. Get off the Wii U.
If you're my #1 fan, what's my birthday?
Oh.
Didn't think so.
I can't drop the mic twice in one show. I think at that point it would make it overused. So I'm not
Yeah,
going to. But
Y'all
you
are
know.
weird.
But that would be an interesting thing to talk about. So we'll talk about that next week, yeah?
Sure.
And then next week, y'all don't have to ask me what the fucking topic is.
Well,
I'm
we
not gonna
haven't had a
apologize.
conversation at all in 2 weeks, so I think we're allowed to ask, what the topic
No, that's very
is.
true. That's very true. The reason that always actually here's the actual reason why I'm always like, what the fuck, is because I assumed that Google would tell you that it would be like, Garrett has invited you to what we are reading, the storytelling podcast number 79.
No,
Yeah.
never happens.
No, I have finally
Actually,
gathered that
once.
that's not what occurs.
Not even.
No, it
once.
just says Garrett invited you to hang out.
Oh, that explains a lot. Scott,
There you go.
Scott, were you the one who said you haven't been reading much recently?
I don't get the chance to. My day is spent doing one of two things: either taking care of the baby, or writing.
Furiously
which is down
masturbating.
for-
Writing. I was going to say writing.
I prefer the term angrily masturbating. It's a far better visual. Which just it's like I don't
Yeah,
want to.
furiously doesn't necessarily
Furious.
contain the emotion. If you're doing something
Right.
furiously, you can just be doing it very quickly and energetically. But
Which I
angrily,
do.
yeah, angrily,
Right, but
angrily,
angry.
really,
I'm
yeah.
just also pissed off. I like to go to the bedroom window because it faces the street, and I like to just glare at people as they walk by, just so that they know how upset I am with them. I couldn't get through the whole thing. I lost my character. I'm sorry.
And you use your left hand.
Can I try that one more time? Well, obviously I'm using my left hand. I just wouldn't enjoy it otherwise. So when the baby's down, that's when I go smooth segue. that's when I get the chance to write. And so,
Uh,
awake, I can't use that time to read because she doesn't let me read.
right.
I can watch TV, and she
Yeah.
will play quietly with her toys right there at my feet. La la la. The second I try to like read a book or I pull up my phone to read or something, she's no, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. And she like grabs
It's because
it.
you've got something in your hand, isn't
Yep.
it?
Yeah.
It's the exact same way with me.
And
Me
you know
my
what's
son.
funny? I'm not even a big TV watcher.
No,
But it's
no.
all she'll let me do.
Mhm.
And so I've been catching up on a lot of television, and it's kind of like, it's killing me because I'm a big reader, and it's like,
Finally watching this show that was really popular a few years back. It was it's called Cheers. I don't know. You heard of it?
Have you seen
I can't stand TV. I couldn't do it.
Right. So it's like, I mean, it's like she likes to play with herself a lot of the times, like just with her own toys, and shut up. It's a baby. It's a one and a
I know.
sick bastard.
I didn't say anything.
No, but Chrissy lost it. But she is very self-entertaining. How about that? That can't be.
There you go.
There you go. She likes to run to the window and she watches like the squirrels go by and she likes to tell me about them. and
Scott,
whatnot.
you just talked about running to the window in a completely different context. This is
That was
not
me.
okay.
This
is
running
not
to the window,
okay.
and it's a whole different window. They're two different windows. Can you
Oh
not
my God.
compartmentalize this?
This is the best podcast ever.
It really is. I'm going to
Welcome.
die listening back to this one. I am actually going to die.
So anyway, yeah. So that's my day.
Literally
I
going
don't-
to die.
I do think, in general, though, that people should try to read as much as they can. I think it's a
Absolutely.
good thing, especially if you're
I think
writing.
you should pick up a Guy Incognito book and read it to her.
Oh, yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
She's got her own books. I mean, I read her books to her, but I would if I'm gonna read a book, I would rather read, like, I don't know, like Daggerspell, like something like you're reading or something like that. I need to find some time at night that I have to read, but usually even at nighttime, when she goes to bed, I'm still either catching up on the writing that I have to do for the day, or I'm kind of just vegging the hell out because I can't focus on anything because I'm exhausted.
I guess
hear
I
that.
was.
That's me right now.
I guess I was a much worse mother because I was very good at ignoring my children.
Good job.
Well, I also did the smart thing and had 3 of them, so they entertained each other.
I guess I just didn't have that kind of foresight.
Oh, there you go.
And that's my fault, and that's on me, and I accept it.
Fantastic. Nicholas Klingborg says he's scared now that we've, after what we said about line editing. Don't worry, Nicholas. We will assuage your fears in our episode next week when we talk about what we mean by all of that stuff. But it has been over an hour now, so we should wrap up the show.
Okay.
Oh, man.
No more masturbatory jokes.
No more poop, porn. These are the last time any of these topics will ever be joked about on this show. I can guarantee
I
it.
don't believe you.
What?
Yeah. All right, everybody.
I'm off the show.
That's been the that's been the Storytelling Podcast. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday evening. Join us next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Probably. We're all going to confer now that Zach's back in Miami. We're going to figure out what time actually works. We'll let everybody know. I've been Garrett Robinson. You can find me at garrettbrobinson.com. Chrissy is at chrissymoss.com. And Scott is at theshroudbetween.com. We'll see you in a week, everyone. Good night.